Hi beautiful, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to do a full face of Makeup Revolution. Now I did a full face of Makeup Revolution a while back, but since I have a few new products, I thought I would do another one. And also I am going to a dinner tonight. For primer, I just applied my usual moisturizer, and then on top of that we're just going to use this fixing spray, and this is the vanilla and coconut, and as you can see I've used quite a bit of it. I actually like this in the mornings when I go to work because it hydrates my skin as well as it preps it before the foundation. It has an aggressive spritzer, so just be careful of that, but it definitely wakes me up in the morning. And while I wait for that to dry, I will actually go and use this baking oil. This product is supposed to be used underneath the eyes if you're into baking, but personally I like to use this on places where I get dry patches. At the moment my skin is doing a lot better, so much better compared to how it used to look. I still have a few eczema patches here and there, but it's not flared up. So I'm going to put it on this area right here, a little bit here, and on top of my forehead, just to minimize the flakiness of dry patches. I am going to prime my lids. I'm going to use the Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. I have this one for ages and this is almost out. I like this concealer, specifically the shade, because I use this to lighten up my other foundations that are quite dark on me. To set the lids, I'm just going to quickly go and use this Reloaded eyeshadow palette, and this is in Neutrals 2. And if you can see from the pan, this is definitely a good, reasonable dupe for the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette if you're into reds. The only thing lacking is purple, but I mean majority of this is red and pink, so if you're into that shade, then this palette is for you, and this is only $11. I'm going to use this shade right here to set my lids, and I love the Reloaded eyeshadow palettes from Revolution. They're so pigmented, they perform just as great as high-end eyeshadow palettes out there. I want to create a somewhat neutral look because I wanted to do a pressed glitter on my lid. So I think I might start with this brown right here and see how it goes. So I'm going to coat that shade on majority of my lid. It's a red tone brown, and I'm going to cover all the way up to here to get rid of that white cast from the concealer. And see how easy and blendable this shade is. Now I am going to switch into a somewhat denser brush, and I am going to pick up this shade right here. It's similar to the shade that we use for our crease, but it's just a hint darker. So I'm going to apply that on the outer V and concentrate more on that onto the crease, and dragging that to the inner part of the eyes. And I'm going to go back to the previous brush that we used to blend. Going to go and use a little bit of this shade right here to blend everything. I don't have a glitter primer from Revolution, so I'm just going to use this lip gloss. I know it's not meant for the eyes, but hey, makeup has no rules. So I'm going to pop a little bit on my hand. It's a bit holographic as well. And I am going to use a denser brush So we have a sticky base for the glitter. I'm actually not mad with that iridescence that it gives. I am going to use this eyeshadow palette right here. I actually have used this in the previous video, which was the full face of Revolution as well. And I am going to use this shade called Luxe because I'm going to go for a birthday dinner. So I'm going to pick up this Essence plastic applicator, which is great for picking up glitter and pigment. And we're going to apply that on top of the lip gloss. I might actually have to set some of it with an eyeshadow because I could feel it a little bit sticking. So I am going to go back with on this eyeshadow palette. Ooh. And I think I am gonna go for this shade right here so we could add a little bit of pink on the lids. I kind of regretted the lip gloss as a base, but hey, it is something different and we'll figure it out together if it's going to last or not. So before I apply mascara and finishing touches on the eyes, we're going to go with the foundation. So for foundation today, I actually have tried this Conceal and Define foundation previously on the same video, which I will link somewhere. I got the shade F12, which is quite dark, so I picked up F8 today, and I'm going to mix them together to have my perfect match. The finish of this foundation is a little bit drying, but once it kind of settled in onto the skin, it looks pretty okay. So I'm going to use majority of F12 on my face, and then I am going to use F8 on the areas where I want to lighten up. For a few swipes, it actually gave me a good coverage. I don't want to put too much because this has got a bit of a fuller coverage, and also it could look a little bit drying on my skin, so I will just pop a little bit more on the areas where I want to conceal. The F8, I am going to use this as somewhat a concealer as well. So I'm going to pop a little bit on this area. Well, that's not a little bit. On here. A little bit on the chin. And on my forehead. With a concealer before, I am going to put that on top of the foundation just to give that yellow tone. I actually do like it now, so to set my face, I'm going to use the banana powder from Revolution. This is also quite new to me. I think this is a good dupe for the Ben Nye banana powder. So I'm going to pick up a little bit on this sponge. I'll just use this to set my face. So I targeted the areas where I typically get really oily, and I'm going to use a brush for the rest of my face. The foundation is quite drying already, so I don't want to set it too much, otherwise we will look super duper cakey. I don't have a bronzer from Revolution. I used to have their highlight and contour, but I think I left it in the Philippines when I went, so I'm just going to use my other bronzer. I don't have a blush with me today, but since we're using like a red pinky eyeshadow palette, I'm going to pick up a shade in here and use it as a blush. I am feeling this shade right here, which kind of reminds me of Pink Fleur or Fleur Power from MAC. Too much, so I'm going to pick up my bronzer brush Cool. And for highlight today, I'm going to go and use this Revolution highlight palette, and I have the shade Incandescent. This is what the packaging looks like. Again, I used this previously as well, and this is Incandescent. And Revolution highlight is honestly the best because it's very soft, it's very pigmented, and it's not glittery. It's more of a glow. And it blends onto the skin very smoothly. To finish off our eyes, I am going to go and use the transition shade that we used before, which is that one back there. And then the darker shade on the outer V. In a corner highlight, I am going to go and use this shade right here, which has a little bit more pink. I'm not going to do anything crazy on my lashes, so I'm just gonna tight line it, apply mascara. I personally don't like wearing false lashes, so I like to stick with the mascara. Ooh, the glitter came off when I curled my lashes. For mascara, I have the Revolution The Mascara. I have been using this for about a month now, and I actually really like it. It has a big fat brush, and it gives volume as well as lengthen my lashes, which I absolutely look for a mascara. So if you compare this side to this side, it just makes it look like I'm wearing falsies. So for brow bone highlight, I am going to go back to that shade that we used to set the lids and just apply that on the top part. I will just quickly spray a little bit of this fixing spray because my face looks a little bit crusty, especially on my forehead area. That felt good. So for the lips, I actually picked up this quite recently. This is the Noble Matte Lip Kit from Revolution. I actually do own the Echelon version of this. I quite like this more because the lip liner has got more of a deeper undertone, as well as the shade right here is quite lighter, so you could definitely get a good definition, whereas Echelon, the lip liner kind of look similar with the liquid lipstick. The only downside to this lip liner is that it smells like plastic, like extreme plastic. And here is my final makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm actually quite surprised that I love this foundation more now that I have two shades that I can mix. Because if I were to use F12 alone, honestly, I won't be matching my face to my neck, and that's terrible. I have done that so many times, and I do love the look that it gave. The glitter palette is good, though I kind of messed up because I used the gloss instead of a proper glitter primer, so it's kind of doing that thing where it's settling into the lines, but I did set it with the pink shade in here, so I might actually do that all over. But other than that, everything is good. If you're on a budget, Revolution makeup is hands down one of the best drugstore brands out there, close to Wet n Wild and Essence. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more updates, and I will catch you on the next one.